Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we are going to discuss fishing. We now officially have fishing in Stormworks. We're going to be taking a look at the update notes and discussing some of the changes that this brings to the game. So without further ado, let's begin. We start off with the notes here, and as you can see, this boat is actually the Regal Built Reba that I've made. So thank you developers for showcasing my boat as the cover photo for this update. I'm honored, honestly, that is so super cool. Down here we can read that the new update comes out. You can fish with a new fishing rod, store and transport your catch in hoppers and sell them at trading points in harbors. In this photo it looks like it's sharks that are collected, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Then they give a shout out to the players and YouTubers for kind of pushing this update and helping it come out. Then there's an awesome trailer here by other YouTuber, Prof Incognito. Down here there's a funny photo with a bear chasing a fisherman holding a fish. Of course bears like fish, and you could see the new fishing rod item here. Down here they said they plan on doing a live question and answer soon, so that's going to come up. And then we are still interested in player feedback on fishing, particularly the requests for commercial fishing updates. Now I have a lot in store for that, so I will be making another video specifically for that, but in this video we're just going to focus on what this update itself brings. So finally down here you can see that it says they've made the fish system, behaviors, items, animations and sounds, physics-based first-person fishing rod. Now they added a new item, a vacuum hopper block. Then they've added the default fish markets for trading, map labels, so new map labels including hospital boat and refueler plane. Then they did some fixes, buoyancy issues, several issues with rope, GSI dock, physics mesh, and some bug tracker. So I actually wrote on this page quite early. I was the 12th comment, and I kind of just watched what other people wrote, and there is a lot of excitement for the game, but there is also a lot of people that are in essence disappointed. But people then were quick to comment and say, hey, this is only the beginning. You know, some people are saying this isn't a major update, but really I'd say it is, because it adds a whole new element to the game that we no longer had, we did not previously have. So it added the fishing aspect as a whole. So I do thank the developers for releasing this update and for giving us yet another element in the game that we can play with. The changes begin if you type in fish into the search here for the component inventory, and you will see that they have now in equipment inventory a fishing rod. This rod you can place, of course, and they did add some aspect where you can actually color it. So there's a tad bit of color on it that you can adjust. Not a whole lot, but it's nice that they have it. I think there still may be a glitch where everything reads orange no matter what color it is, so we'll see that in person. I'm going to make it blue. Next, you see all these now hoppers have been renamed to actually be to say that they can hold fish. So here it says ingots and fish, and they added the tag for fish for all of these. So in essence, these are the old hoppers that we had, with the exception of the vacuum duct. And really what this is a series of systems that you can use to transport anything in here. So any of the, call it inventory or items that are in here, can be transported through the ducts. Resources, I guess they call them in the game. And then lastly here, or next bit, we have the different hoppers. So we have the regular hopper, we have a large hopper, and then we have a medium hopper. So I guess the first regular one was actually the small hopper. Of course we have a funnel duct, so this is what you put here to actually drop out the fish. Of course this is not new, so if you're familiar with this system, it's not new. I'm just reviewing it for those that may not know. And lastly, we now have this. So it's a vacuum duct, and it says a vacuum for moving resources can be toggled to move resources through the vacuum. The vacuum can transport resources from ducts and hoppers immediately in front of the vacuum nozzle. So it's actually quite interesting. This here appears to be the nozzle, and it lets you now transport. So this may open the door to even conveyor belts, for example. Well, not real conveyor belts, but you could use a series of ducts to mimic what would be a conveyor belt. So not quite a conveyor belt, but pretty close. Call it a Stormworks equivalent. Now, how we can get it to work, we're going to test that out. But as you can see here on this new item, it just has an active block, and you have to plug it into the electricity. Now, there is no other blocks associated with this one, so it's just as simple as that. Something I mentioned in my previous video when I found out this update was coming was the fact that the hoppers are still quite large, and I would really like to see a fridge style component just the size of this drum. It could be exactly the size, even similar shape, just not these edges. And in essence, it would just let you dump fish into it and pick them up. So it would not be able to use the vacuum, the new vacuum, which is more for industrial purposes like this, but it would just work like this drum, and it would be really cool. In fact, if you could pick it up like this. So I don't know how they program it in, but I don't think it's too difficult. The same way you could have a fish in your hand, except it goes in your small inventory. It would be nice to put it into this fridge. That'd be this size, but maybe this large. And then you could pick up the whole thing, walk over to your hopper, and then take your individual fish out and sell it, or just drop this whole thing and sell it. But regardless, something like that would be really cool and nice on smaller boats. Because I actually updated the Regal Built Reba and added now back here the hopper. And I'm not in love with how it looks personally. I think that a cooler or something else would be better and more functional. But it is what it is to kind of get this going and having the update work for now. I will say I'm at least very happy that the hopper itself acts as a stop for fluid, meaning down here we have our exposed gas tanks. Previously, this would not be a sealed connection, and you'd actually have, your hull would be compromised. And likewise, they did that with hoppers. So even though I'm not in love with the look, you can bury it one block into the hull, and it ends up being watertight, and then it looks like it is a 2x3x3 rather than being a 3x3x3 block. So silver linings, that is okay in my opinion, and it is quite heavy, so you have to really put it in the center of your boat, otherwise it will want to tip the boat over, especially if it's a very small boat. But again, we made it work. Spawning the boat up now, we're just going to give it a startup, and I did go and fix some things with the boat. There's going to be a new revision. I actually stopped the electric boost from helping us get speed when we have low batteries, so that is something that I actually took care of here. But we're not going to talk about all that now. What we're going to do is look at the fishing. So I've added a fishing rod here, and up here where the gear is, in addition to our diving gear, I've added fishing rods here. So this boat is a fishing boat. There's plenty of gear to be found, or plenty of rods. Picking up the rod now, we can view it in our hands, and you could see that it actually went to being orange. So everything in our equipment inventory is currently orange, but normally you can color it and have it work properly. Now, really cool, when you move around, the string kind of follows the physics, so it is quite nice. And we do then have the left mouse button will do this, and as you let go, it throws it. So right now our line is cast. I think that's a bobber, but it's bobbing in the surface, and we could actually press R and you start reeling it in. Now I know in fishing you could kind of like pull it across the surface. Oh, we got a bite. So pull, pull, pull. Did I get a bite? Oh, we did. Nice. And now it's in my hands. And there's a specific type of fish here. It says Labras. We throw it in here, and now it says there's one. So we could luckily pick it up. So really, having it like a cooler in this case does work. Again, I really would like to see a smaller one, but it's nice because we could still pick up our fish by hand. So even this just lets us store it. So that was actually quite interesting. Now, one thing that I would like to see, and that people were commenting, was kind of making this more of like a mini game style thing where there's different types of fish that can be attracted with different bait. Oh, we got another one. And then you have, oh, did we? It looks like. Anyways, that there's different fish that can be attracted with different bait. that there is different fish at different depths, at different points of the map. Can I sit while fishing? Looks like I can. Yeah, my line's still out there, so I could actually sit, which is kind of nice. So, there's a couple things that would be really nice to be included in this fishing update. Oh, but it's not holding it when we're sitting, but... anyway, that's maybe just a glitch of the game. So it does let us sit with it, but you just can't go into first-person mode. Okay, fair enough. Anyways, the bait, fish at different depths, all kinds of stuff. I will talk about other changes and updates I would like to be brought to the fishing update. But for now, this is sort of what we're stuck with for the time being. And I do know the developers are always working diligently to bring more features and additions to the game. So I would say that this is, all in all, a huge update. It is a major update by all accounts. The only thing is it's not a fully developed update at the current time. So we do have a system or the framework for something that can be quite large. It's just not right now. And I have no doubt that developers will bring us that in the future. Now if we pop open the map, it said there's new icons. Ironically, the fishing village, I don't see a fish gantry. I stand corrected. The fishing market is in fact here at the fishing village, and I'm sure we'll find them all over the map. You see the little icon here, except you have to start a new game. So keep that in mind. If you want to sell fish, you have to start a new game. Here is the gantry, and what it tells us is there's a frequency and a note, and you can actually move this. And there you have it. There is our new hopper end. So that's actually quite neat and quite awesome. So what'll happen is this hopper there will vacuum it out of your boat. So you could actually come here with your small fishing boat and get this working. So that is actually a very nice add-on, I gotta say. And they actually here did kind of the fake conveyor, because they're using pivots on the front and bottom of this. So obviously material cannot flow through the pivots, which would actually be a nice add-on. To be honest, I think it would be nice to have a pivot that can flow, that material can flow through. But for now we don't have that, so it's just using Lua coding, and it gets it here. But it says fish buyer, it gives a price, and it gives the code 3077. And here is how you can move this and position it up and down. Can I go all the way down into a boat? Yeah, it can. Well, close enough, I guess. Seems that it's difficult to position when you have a small boat such as this. It is vacuuming though. I could even hear it. Seems they've added a vacuuming sound, so this thing's active and it's working. So, not really recommended for a small boat like this. I think you'd be better off just selling it normally, like walking up here fish by fish, or having maybe a portable hopper or something. But regardless, that is where you sell it, so that's a neat thing to note. And now what we're going to do is actually sell a fish to see what that looks like. So we hop here, get our fishing rod, and do that. And then we wait. So it does give us a nice little side mission or mini game to pass the time. I do like anything along those lines. But I definitely think that this is the start of a massive update, rather than being... Oh, there we go. Rather than being a large update itself. Oh, that one's going off like crazy. Oh, we got it. Spadefish. Right on. That's actually a cute little bugger. Nope. Not like that. Like this. Hold my fish up for all to see. It's a nice fish. So regardless, it seems that this is how it's done. Now I'm going to fly over to the hopper and sell it my fish. So if I drop it in here, boom, unloaded, and there it goes. Now we're not playing in the mode with money, but if we were, that would have made us some money. So that is in essence the system that we have. There's a couple of things that I really would like to see, one being a small fridge, just a smaller item for boats. And then I think that the hopper, and this is just a bigger picture thing for all things mining, it would be nice to have a pivot that allows the transfer of coal and minerals and fish and things, because it'd be nice to build a bigger version of this on a ship and then actually deposit it in here. So those are kind of the things that I see right off the first hand. Maybe adding a mini mission type game where the fish is not only flinging around, but you have to kind of reel it in properly. I'm not quite sure how that would look. And otherwise, I think this is an awesome update. It's the awesome start of something that I think is going to be great for the game. So currently it is quite simplistic maybe, but the fact that they've went ahead and added it in, I think gives us a great amount of foreshadowing to what is going to come. So I'll keep that in mind when you're writing these comments and saying things like, you know, you'd prefer to have, you know, commercial fishing, or what's the point, or whatever. I think that we have to be smart and acknowledge the fact that the developers can't go ahead and do all these big things right away. It takes time, and they also want our feedback. So stay tuned for a video where I'm actually going to list items that I think would be awesome for the commercial fishing update. Stay tuned for more creations. I'm going to make a trailer for this boat. Stay tuned for other content. And as always, happy Stormworksing, everyone.